Hi everyone, 3 Men and a Whisky, and I'm back on track with my advent calendars. Ish. Pretty much. I'm probably as back on track as I'm likely to get, so I'm just going to kind of take it as a win and say we're good, and leave it at that. Now, yesterday I watched Red One, a brand new Christmas movie. Only been out a few weeks. It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Chris Evans, J.K. Simmons, Lucy Liu. You know, it's got a fair amount of acting talent behind it, and it was really good fun because I got to watch it with my partners in Whisky Crime, JD and Pete, and really we just had a chance to chat and ultimately pass judgment on whether or not we felt this brand new Christmas movie was going to become an all-time classic. And I won't spoil it if you haven't watched the video yet, but I will just say that I think all three of us were surprised by what we saw. And given that I watched a brand new Christmas movie, it felt only natural that today I should watch something a fair bit older. And the movie in question is from 1992, but I wanted something that was even older than that. And so while it is from 92, the source material, the story that it is based on, that it's adapted from, is quite a bit older. Going back to the 1840s, in fact. A story written by a little-known author called Charles Dickens. And I gather this particular story has been adapted before. I don't think to much success. But yes, it has been adapted one or two times by the film industry at Christmas, to make a few bucks. But yeah, this one that I'm going to watch is an absolute classic, a Christmas classic. It may not be considered the greatest adaptation of a Christmas Carol, but it certainly contains probably the most diverse range of acting talent ever assembled. And it's still a wonder to me that a number of these particular talents have not yet won Oscars. Particularly one specific individual who is still waiting for her Oscar, her Golden Globe, her Emmy. It is shameful, in fact, that the individual in question, Miss Piggy, has not yet been rewarded and recognised for her incredible talent. I am, of course, talking about Muppets, A Christmas Carol, a 1992 legendary film. I mentioned great comedians always having to go and make Christmas movies, and the Muppets kind of had to do it, right? It was, it's the law. And this film is always memorable to me, not just for the Muppets, but for the fact that Michael Caine, playing Ebenezer Scrooge, plays it so straight that it was so serious that it just makes it funnier from my perspective, or at least how I remember it. So I'm looking forward to going back and watching that. And in terms of the whiskey that I've chosen to go with it, well, I wanted to roll out something good, roll out the big guns. This is the last time I'm going to watch an adaptation of A Christmas Carol this Christmas, I hope. I've watched a few. And so I thought I'd roll out my best glass, and I wanted to have a whiskey that is limited edition, but that is also from a distillery that also has a bit of a reputation for perhaps overproducing. And GlenAllachie is one of my favourite distilleries. I adore GlenAllachie. They make phenomenal drams. A lot of the reason for that is a young man named Billy Walker, who has been around the block a bit. He's run a lot of distilleries over the years, and a few years ago he found his way to GlenAllachie, and the rest is history. every single bottle that they release is, or it seems to me, is a banger. It's absolutely brilliant. The only issue I have is they just release so much of it. There's so much GlenAllachie, I can't keep up. In the same way that I can't keep up with the number of A Christmas Carol adaptations there are out there. It's beyond belief now, and I can't quite cope. But, I'll make do. I have a GlenAllachie in the glass, and, I think I'll get on just fine. The one I've picked is a limited edition. It's an Oloroso sherry cask finish, 9-year-old. And as you can see, there's not that much left in the bottle, mainly because this was an absolute banger. Surprise, surprise. And I'm very, very excited to go back to have some of this while watching one of the greatest ensemble cask performances in cinematic history, led, of course, by the great Miss Piggy. So I'm going to go and watch Muppets: A Christmas Carol. I'm going to go drink my GlenAllachie. I may even have two because, it's Christmas. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Hi everyone, and if you're wondering why I am not sat where I was 10 seconds ago, it's because I've watched Muppets: A Christmas Carol. I've had my whiskey, my GlenAllachie, and then I remembered that I hadn't actually taken the dog for a walk. So I'm out with the dog, who is somewhere. There she is. Annoyed because I've stopped, but I've stopped because I'm tired. I've just walked to a big hill, but it's lovely. It's a beautiful evening as the sun sets over Sheffield, and yeah, I thought, why not give you my ratings now rather than wait till later when I'm sat back at home in the warm. What can I say? Muppets Christmas Carol, yeah, it's still good. It's still fun. It's a classic Christmas movie. I probably didn't enjoy it as much as maybe I would have done when I was younger. I'm sure Sasha would love it when I finally show it to her. But the truth is, I think I'm maybe a little Christmas caroled out. I've watched a lot of Christmas Carol adaptations this Christmas, and maybe this was just a step too far. So that probably brings it down a little bit for me, which is maybe me being a bit unfair. I think the musical numbers didn't really do it for me either. I've mentioned before that with musicals, the best ones are the really old ones. You go back to the 50s, 60s, 70s and what have you. They're the good ones. This is from 1992, and I don't know, I found the musical numbers fell a bit flat. Michael Caine, as much as I was taking the mickey earlier about his seriousness, I mean, look, this is, well, shall I just say this is Michael Caine not really at his peak? I think his peak actually came at the end of his career, towards the end of his career, when he appeared in all those Chris Nolan films. And but he's fun. I think he's clearly enjoying himself in the role, and it can't be easy acting with such divas like Miss Piggy and what have you. So, I think he did a pretty competent job. So, I'm going to give it 7 swans are swimming. I think that's fair. Obviously, if you disagree, then please do reach out and we can have a chat. Yeah, and the whiskey, GlenAllachie Oloroso Special Edition 9-year-old, really good. Yeah, really, really good. It being an Oloroso, it was obviously a little dry, a bit drier. Nice fruitiness there as well. And yeah, it was decent. It was decent. I think there was a little bit of a spirit burn when I first tried it, which surprised me a little bit for a whiskey as good as GlenAllachie, which probably brings it down slightly. So I think I'll probably give it an 8.5 maybe, which is still a pretty decent score. I don't think you'll be able to get hold of a bottle of that anymore, but if you can, then it is well worth it. And if you can't, well, don't worry, because it's GlenAllachie, which means they've probably released, I don't know, 6 more bottles just while I've been on this video, and most of them will be pretty fantastic, I'm sure. So anyway, I'm going to go. I am tired, and I'm going to get this dog home before it's pitch black dark. But I'll be on again tomorrow with something else. I will be sat in the warm, is my plan. And yeah, like, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, see you later. Say bye, Shadow. See you later.